In the ever-dynamic political landscape of Vanchi, Mayor Pawan Chandra has executed what many analysts are calling a masterstroke of governance strategy. By hiring the brightest intellectual critics from the opposition into his own government, he has fundamentally reshaped the balance of power, ensuring stability while simultaneously weakening the adversaries that once thrived on destabilizing rhetoric. Opposition in a multi-party democracy. In multi-party democracies, the government is tasked with governance while the opposition's role is, in practice, to challenge it. However, this challenge often transforms into a relentless campaign of criticism, regardless of the merits of the policies in question. The result is a cycle of political antagonism. The ruling party attempts to govern, the opposition condemns every action, and the public is left emotionally stirred, sometimes to the brink of rebellion. For opposition parties, this is a career necessity. Being out of power means being unemployed in the political economy. To remain relevant, they must attack, disrupt, and destabilize, even if it means undermining the country's stability. This dynamic, while traditional, is counterproductive to long-term progress. Pawan's bold solution. Mayor Pawan Chandra recognized this flaw and chose not to fight the opposition in the usual battlefield of words. Instead, he brought the battlefield inside his own camp. His policy was radical yet deceptively simple: hire the opposition's most intellectual critics and give them an official role within his government. These critics, once outsiders throwing stones, are now insiders given the explicit responsibility of constructive criticism. Their mandate is not to blindly defend government policies but to oppose them, publicly, rigorously, and intellectually. They are encouraged to criticize decisions, dissect policies, and challenge the ruling party's actions. However, unlike the traditional opposition, they must engage in dialogue, propose alternatives, and work toward resolutions. In essence, Pawan created a government that contains its own opposition, an opposition that works with the system instead of against it. Shattering the old opposition. The ripple effect was immediate. By absorbing the intellectual core of the opposition, Pawan left rival parties hollow. Their most persuasive voices, the very ones that could rally public emotions, were no longer available to them. With these critics now operating within government, opposition parties lost their sharpest weapons. This deprived them of their ability to emotionally manipulate the masses with unchecked rhetoric. The usual slogans of rebellion rang hollow when the government itself was already facilitating robust criticism and debate. For the average citizen, the difference was stark. One side offered constructive critique within a system of accountability, the other merely shouted into the void. Political and economic stability. The strategy produced a dual benefit. Politically, it neutralized the opposition by stripping away its intellectual arsenal. Economically, it ensured stability. With less public unrest, fewer protests, and reduced uncertainty, investors and businesses found Vanchi a safer place to thrive. The mayor's party reaped the rewards of both governance and perception. They appeared not only strong but also open-minded, pragmatic, and future-oriented. Guaranteeing electoral dominance. By embedding an opposition within the ruling party itself, Pawan has almost guaranteed long-term dominance for his political movement. Elections, once fought on the battlefield of anger and emotional outbursts, are now tilting decisively in his favor. As long as this internal critic system remains intact, the ruling party has a near unbreakable advantage, a stable government that still appears self-correcting and democratic. A masterstroke of political engineering. What Mayor Pawan Chandra has achieved is not merely a tactic, it is an architectural redesign of democracy within Vanchi. He has blurred the rigid lines between government and opposition, creating a new model of governance where critique strengthens power rather than undermines it. For his rivals, this is nothing short of a checkmate. For his supporters, it is proof of visionary leadership. And for Vanchi, it may well mark the beginning of an era where political gamesmanship gives way to pragmatic governance.